If you feel like you're living in your minivan between therapy appointments, doctor's visits, school pickups, sporting events, and all the in between, I see you. I'm a mom of four. One of my kids on the autism spectrum with multiple weekly appointments, and these are my real life time-saving hacks for those chaotic days that feel like I'm gonna die, but are just kind of hard to manage. Tips for moms and caregivers with heavy appointment days. So right now I am sitting outside of the therapy clinic. Today my daughter has 2 appointments, and it is actually one of our less chaotic days. I feel like I've kind of gotten our schedule under control. It's also summer, so we've eliminated quite a bit of extra appointments. Today I had a meeting for a nonprofit I'm going to start working with. Then I went to the gym. I had to put my daughter in childcare, and then we came to her back-to-back appointments. We're going to grab lunch, and then we're going to go home and hang out with her brothers. That sounds like your life. I got you. But first, if you're new around here, hello, my name is Lydia Senn, and I make videos on frugal and simple living. So if you're a mom living on a tight budget and a tight schedule, I've got plenty of tips to offer you. I would love it if you would subscribe and join our community. Of course, my number one tip is going to be start the night before. It's amazing how 10 minutes of night before prep time can save you 30 minutes in the morning, because you're not having to find outfits, choose a breakfast. I also have notes, therapy folders, all of those things, so that way everything's in the car and ready to go. I highly recommend using a whiteboard, an app, a simple notebook. I also have these clickable to-do lists, so I make my kids lists. And then I have my brain. This is my brain. I brain dump every single night, and I leave it on the counter. And then when we leave, I stick it in my bag. Sometimes I brain dump when we get there again because things are changing. But using a whiteboard, an app, a notebook to kind of review the next day's timeline, especially if every day is different and you don't have the same therapies or the same appointments or the same events every single day. And then something we do is we have like morning review time in the car. So I have kids that range in age from 13 to 5. And so lots of different age groups developmentally. And so we will do like a little morning prayer, a little verse, the days of the week song, the months of the year song. But I will also say, like, today, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going to be. This is where you're going to be. This is what we've got going on. This is what we're having for dinner. And just kind of letting my kids know this is what the steps are for the day. Our life looks different. And sometimes it's hard. And it's hard for our kids who feel like they're being drug along to appointments. But this is family, and this is how it is in a family. Also, it's really important to me to come at this from a place of gratitude. Of when I say it can be difficult to manage, I'm not being ungrateful. I feel like we have this to manage. Like, we have therapy, we have the options, we are able to pay for this. At times it is a stretch, at times it is hard, but this is still something we are able to do. Also, shout out to moms with multiple children going to therapies, and also moms who are taking babies and toddlers with them to therapy, because that has been me in the past. And now I'm just managing older kids and their expectations. But just now I had to go inside and talk to one of Lib's therapists and then come back out. And there's a mom sitting in the grass playing with what looks like a 2 to 3 year old. And then there's a mom in the car next to me nursing a baby. And I'm like, y'all are superheroes, and I hope you know that. Car, bags, and systems. So what to include in a car kit? Healthy snacks. So having a car kit and a well-stocked car is super helpful. So what do I include? Healthy snacks. These are a big hit right now. They're the little Go-Go Squeeze yogurts. Also, the Nature Valley protein granola bars are a big hit with my 2 oldest. I have books and small toys. Right now, this is my daughter's favorite, mice skating. I got it at Barnes & Noble. It's on the clearance rack. We do hit up the library to have a pretty steady rotation of books. The library books I keep a handle on in the front. I let them look at them, and then they have to be returned. but I do keep a lot of little toys in the seats, the little thing pouch behind the seat. A clipboard with coloring pages is a good idea, and I also have extra school supplies in the back of my car. I have these little hooks that I hang them on. In the morning when we're leaving, I'll say grab what you need and load up, and I have them pack those bags again the night before. They have little Lego carrying cases, they have school books that they're bringing and books that they want to read, and just stuff to do, because sometimes we're waiting 2 or 3 hours at therapy. I also keep sporting equipment. So I have foldable soccer goals and a football, a soccer ball, and that way they can get some energy out if there's an area with a lawn. Simplify meals on appointment days. So I have so many crockpot and sheet pan meal recipes, and I will link them below, but meal strategies that work for me: plan a crockpot or instant pot meal the night before. So I put things in a bag in the refrigerator, or I'll put it in the crock pot insert into the refrigerator. Freezer to slow cooker meals, so I'll batch prep a bunch of things and then stick it in the freezer, pull it out the night before, let it semi-thaw in the fridge, and then cook it all day. And that's super easy. We also have baked sandwiches one night a week, and that's been really helpful too. Emergency meals in the freezer, having a few pre-made meals, so either meals that I make ahead of time, or I'll buy frozen meals that are really, you pour them in the pan and you stir it up and it cooks, because that saves us from eating out. And then when Jason's traveling, we have snacky dinner, which is like pretzels, cheese, maybe some muffins that I made, fruit and yogurt. Also, I'm a big fan of canned chicken soup, like the not the Campbell's in the red can, but the one with the blue label. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, the home style. And then cheese toast and fruit, and my kids love that. Also, there was a day when we would have my daughter's morning therapy, 2 therapies in the afternoon, piano, karate, and then church, and that was not sustainable. I did get some therapies moved around, but it is inevitable that we will have 2 or 3 therapies one day a week. And so maybe those are the nights where we do leftovers, or I'll have like just a meal that I know we're going to have that night every single week. So if it's a Tuesday, tacos. If it's Monday, chicken Caesar salad. Like whatever that day is where the most amount of stress and the most amount of appointments fall, we're just going to eat the same thing that night every single week. And no, we've done this for years and we've yet to get tired of it. But give yourself permission to not cook on your busiest days. So, that's not lazy, that's smart, that's survival. My sister has a soccer family. Her kids all play soccer competitively. Well, I guess everyone plays competitively, but they play in those leagues where they take it really, really seriously. And she was talking about taking her crock pot in the car with her, which I think is genius. But also, I think there are plenty of nights when it's like sandwiches and we're good. Stack appointments as needed. If possible, ask providers to group therapies back to back. So sometimes that's not always feasible. Kids get exhausted, moms get exhausted, caregivers get exhausted. But like today, for example, where my daughter currently does speech and occupational therapy, they're 30-minute visits, and so that's just an hour and then we're done. And so they get them on the same day, but there was a time when we were having to drive over here for 30-minute therapy, and it's 30 minutes one way from my house. So an hour in the car for 30 minutes of therapy. And so if we can stretch that out and have both therapies on the same day, we're golden. And I try to use the time we're in the car wisely. So like, I don't have my kids today. They are in childcare. Praise the Lord, it's summer, so my childcare options are more available. But so I will read, I will make this video, I will return phone calls and emails. When my kids are with me, we do school. Afterwards, we go to the library. We talk. I do read alouds. And so I'm trying to use this time wisely. I will order online groceries, make my kids' doctor's appointments, call my mom, and just kind of like check up on all those things. When I make that brain dump, I look and see what needs to be done, because this is 30 minutes to an hour where we're just here. We can't go anywhere. We can't do anything. No one can come to us. No one can bother us. So that's a good time to like get some stuff done. And I talk about like how I have a power hour every week to plan, order groceries, update my calendar, meal plan. My brain went somewhere else for a second there. And I talk about how I have a power hour where I will order my groceries, meal plan, update my calendar, make appointments. This is a great time to do that. So just get in that routine. The more you do it, the faster it's going to go. In fact, I have a waiting room task list. So this is a great time for budget review, a digital declutter. So deleting things from my email, setting up online returns. I use that wait time to meal plan, order groceries, clean out my inbox. It feels like I'm getting something back. Know what to drop. So today may be a day where we don't do laundry. We eat off paper plates. We choose easy wins. So we're picking up groceries. We're saying no to extra activities. My kid does have karate tonight, but what can wait today? What can we not do today that we can push to another day? Also, and this is something I've talked about a lot, I do still have to keep my house running. It cannot just descend into chaos because today is a big appointment day or an ultra busy day. I still, do a load of laundry, do the dishes, sweep the main area of the house, and cook dinner. Now I do have a basic meal plan going. Tonight we're actually doing, I made hamburgers over the weekend, so today is Monday. And so we're going to do, the kids are going to eat hamburgers, Jason and I are going to have a hamburger salad. But that feels like a free meal. That feels like time being given back to me because I planned those leftovers in advance. You're doing enough just showing up for your child. You're doing enough just showing up for your child's needs. Everything else is bonus. So remember that. Those are the time-saving hacks that keep me sane when our schedule gets wild. Let me know in the comments section what you would add to this list. Do you relate? What's one thing you do to stay on top of chaotic days? I'd love to know, and I'd steal your ideas. Just see if they work for me. I am going to link to some easy meal videos that I hope will be really helpful. Cheap, easy, crazy fast dinners. I would love for you to subscribe. Like I said, if you're navigating mom life on a tight schedule and a tight budget, this is the place for you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in my next video.